What if everything you know is only a fraction of the whole picture? We are about to uncover 50 shocking secrets of the multiverse theory, a journey that will fundamentally challenge your perception of reality itself. By the end, you will see the cosmos in a completely new light. We will explore why you have infinite doppelgangers and whether our universe is uniquely fine-tuned or just a cosmic coincidence. Are you ready to question the nature of your own existence? Our reality is a single thread in an infinite tapestry of existence. The first shocking secret takes us back to the mind of a young physicist named Hugh Everett in the 1950s. He proposed a solution to one of quantum mechanics' greatest puzzles that was so elegant, yet so audacious, it was largely dismissed for decades. His many worlds interpretation states that every single quantum event does not have a single outcome. Instead, every possible outcome actually happens, each in its own newly born universe. This is not a metaphor. When a particle can be in two places at once, the universe literally splits. One version of reality continues where the particle is here, and another, entirely separate reality branches off where the particle is there. Now, scale this up from particles to people. Your life is a continuous series of decisions, both large and small. This morning, you chose coffee over tea. In that moment, another universe split away where a version of you is now sipping Earl Grey. Every choice, every random event, every possible historical outcome is real somewhere. A universe where you took that different job, a world where a different political leader was elected, even a reality where the dinosaurs never went extinct. This means there is no single timeline. There is only an ever-expanding, infinite tree of parallel realities, each one as real and tangible as our own. The true shock is not just that these worlds exist, but that this idea emerged not from science fiction, but from the cold, hard math of quantum physics. It suggests that our sense of a single, linear history is the ultimate illusion. But if every choice spawns a new reality, what was the original cosmic engine that set this infinite tree in motion? The answer lies not in quantum decisions, but in the very first moments of our own universe. The second shocking secret comes from a theory designed to solve the deepest mysteries of the Big Bang, cosmic inflation. This theory proposes that a fraction of a second after the universe began, it underwent an unimaginably violent and exponential growth spurt, inflating from a subatomic speck to a vast cosmos in less than a blink of an eye. This idea elegantly explains why our universe is so uniform and flat. Yet, this same theory contains a profound implication that most of its original creators did not anticipate. The process of inflation, according to the math, is not a one-time event that started and stopped. It is likely eternal. Think of it like a pot of water beginning to boil. Our universe is a single bubble that formed in that boiling cosmic energy. But the boiling never stops. New bubbles are constantly forming, each one a new universe, inflating and cooling to create its own distinct reality with potentially different laws of physics. We are not just one universe that had a beginning. We are one bubble in a vast, endless, and frothing cosmic sea, a multiverse of unimaginable scale. Our entire cosmos, with its hundreds of billions of galaxies, is just one island in an infinite archipelago. This means the Big Bang was not the ultimate beginning of everything, but merely our local beginning, a single bubble nucleation event in an eternal and unending metacosmos. The evidence for our universe's inflation points directly to a reality far grander and more bizarre than we ever conceived. This endless cosmic sea of universes presents a terrifying possibility, one that shakes the very foundations of what we consider real. The third shocking secret is the Boltzmann Brain paradox, a thought experiment so unsettling it makes our entire existence seem statistically impossible. It all begins with a simple question in a multiverse of near-infinite possibilities. which is more likely to occur by pure random chance, a single, self-aware brain forming spontaneously out of the void, or an entire, perfectly ordered universe like ours emerging from chaos? The math points to a truly disturbing answer. In an infinite multiverse, the random jostling of particles in an empty space makes it vastly more probable for a lone, conscious brain to simply pop into existence, complete with false memories of a full life, than for our entire complex cosmos with its billions of galaxies to ever form. Think of it like this: shaking a box of puzzle pieces for an eternity is far more likely to randomly form one small, complete section of the picture by pure luck than for the entire, massive puzzle to perfectly assemble itself all at once. This brain would be utterly alone, floating in nothingness, yet it would be convinced it had a body, a past, and was looking up at the stars. The paradox is this: if such isolated minds are more common than ordered universes, then what proof do we have that we are not one of them? Are you, listening to this, a product of a real, continuous history, or just a momentary flicker of consciousness in an endless, dark sea of nothing? This is not just a philosophical puzzle. It is a direct challenge emerging from our best theories of the multiverse, forcing us to question whether our most fundamental experiences are nothing but an improbable illusion. This unsettling paradox of isolated minds forces us to confront the nature of our own identity. The fourth shocking secret offers a different kind of strangeness, one that is just as profound but far more personal. In a truly infinite multiverse, you are not unique. You have infinite doppelgangers. Every possible version of your life is being lived out right now in a sprawling, branching network of realities. The person you are today is just one single thread in an infinite tapestry of existence. Think about the path that led you to this exact moment. A universe exists where you were born in a different country, raised with a different language and culture. Another reality branches off from a single different choice you made years ago, perhaps to speak to a stranger at a party, leading to an entirely different career and family. There is a version of you who is a celebrated artist, another who is a quiet farmer, and another who pursued a passion you only ever dreamed of. This is not merely about different decisions. It encompasses every random twist of fate. A universe where you missed your bus this morning and your entire day unfolded differently. A reality where a different sperm cell fertilized the egg, and a genetically distinct individual was born in your place, yet still carries your name and essence. The sheer scale is incomprehensible. For every choice you make, a near-identical version of you makes the opposite one, and both of you continue equally real, convinced your path was the one that was taken. This means there is no single best version of your life, no ultimate destiny you are meant to fulfill. There are only paths, an infinite number of them, each with its own joys and sorrows, triumphs and regrets. Your life, with all its specific details and cherished memories, is both profoundly special and utterly common across the cosmos. So the next time you lie awake wondering about the road not taken, you can be certain of one thing. Somewhere in the vastness of the multiverse, another you is already walking it. This radical perspective on existence takes us beyond branching timelines and into the very fabric of reality. The fifth shocking secret suggests our universe is not merely operating according to mathematical laws, it is mathematics itself. This is the mathematical universe hypothesis, a concept so profound it redefines what it means to be real. Imagine a triangle. It has three sides. Its angles always add up to 180 degrees. These properties are true regardless of whether anyone draws it on a piece of paper. The triangle exists as an abstract, eternal mathematical object. Now apply this to everything. The theory proposes that our physical universe is just one such mathematical structure, a specific, incredibly complex set of self-consistent equations that has taken on a physical reality. You, the planet you live on, the stars in the sky, are not just behaving according to math. You are the physical instantiation of a mathematical pattern. The truly staggering implication is that if our universe is one mathematical structure, then all possible mathematical structures must also exist. Every self-consistent set of equations, no matter how simple or bizarre, describes a real, physical universe somewhere in the multiverse. A universe governed by the rules of basic arithmetic would be a stark, empty place. A universe built on the principles of a 12-dimensional geometry would be unimaginably complex. Somewhere, there is a reality where the laws of physics are as simple as the rules of tic-tac-toe. Another exists where time runs in loops or where gravity is repulsive. This means the multiverse is not just a collection of variations on our theme. It is a vast library of every possible reality that logic can support, a cosmic plenitude where existence is the default state for any consistent idea. Your consciousness, your sense of self, is not a ghost in a biological machine, but a complex pattern emerging from a specific mathematical object. We are not just living in a universe of numbers. We are the numbers, and the multiverse is the infinite set of all possible calculations. Yet this mathematical plenitude might not be entirely separate from our own. Astronomers have observed a cosmic mystery so profound it hints that other universes are not just out there, but that they are actively pulling on ours. We call this the dark flow. On the largest scales, our universe is expanding uniformly, with galaxies drifting apart like raisins in a rising loaf of bread. But when scientists mapped the motion of enormous galaxy clusters, they found something that defies this logic. These vast collections of matter, each containing thousands of galaxies, are all streaming in the same direction at incredible speeds, like leaves caught in a river current that should not exist. This motion cannot be explained by any known structure or force within our observable universe. The gravitational pull from all the visible matter we can see is not nearly strong enough to cause this coordinated movement. It is as if you were floating in a calm sea, yet felt a powerful, steady current pulling you relentlessly toward a horizon you cannot see. The most compelling explanation is that the source of this pull lies beyond the edge of our cosmic vision. The gravity of immense structures in a neighboring universe, a separate bubble in the cosmic foam, could be tugging on the fabric of our own reality, drawing everything in our neighborhood toward it. This means the boundaries between universes might not be absolute walls, but permeable membranes where gravity can leak through. We are not isolated. We are connected to the greater multiverse by the most fundamental of cosmic forces, caught in a current we cannot see, flowing toward a shore that lies forever beyond our sight. This immense pull from beyond our horizon suggests the multiverse is not a distant abstraction, but a tangible force. Yet to understand how such radically different universes could even exist, we must journey into the realm of the impossibly small. String theory, a leading candidate for the ultimate theory of everything, proposes a shocking secret that redefines the very notion of possibility. It suggests that the fundamental building blocks of reality are not point-like particles, but unimaginably tiny, vibrating loops of energy. The specific way these strings vibrate dictates everything from the mass of an electron to the force of gravity itself. The theory's equations, however, do not yield a single, neat solution for our universe. Instead, they explode into a landscape of possibilities, a cosmic catalog of potential realities so vast it numbs the mind. The math points to 10 to the power of 500 distinct vacuum states. To grasp a number of that magnitude, consider every grain of sand on every beach and in every desert on Earth. Now, imagine each of those grains is itself an entire universe. The total number of universes in that thought would still be infinitesimally small, utterly negligible, compared to the possibilities within string theory's landscape. Each of these vacuum states represents a stable configuration of reality, a universe with its own unique set of physical laws and constants. In one pocket of the multiverse, gravity might be 1 billion times stronger, instantly crushing any form of complex matter. In another, the nuclear forces could be so weak that atoms never form, leaving a cosmos of scattered subatomic mist. This is not a theory that predicts our specific, life-friendly universe. It predicts every possible universe, with ours being just one rare, habitable oasis in a desert of cosmic extremes. The true shock is that our quest for a single, elegant equation to describe everything has led us instead to an almost limitless anarchy of existence, a cosmic library where every conceivable physical law is written down in a different volume. This strange landscape of possibilities leads us to a deeply personal and unsettling secret, one that questions the very nature of death and consciousness. A thought experiment known as quantum suicide proposes a scenario where a version of you could become immortal, not through magic or technology, but through the brutal statistics of the branching multiverse. Imagine a device is set up, a gun pointed at you that is triggered by a single quantum event like the decay of a radioactive atom. There is a 50% chance the gun fires and a 50% chance it does not. From your perspective, you pull the trigger once. In roughly half of all the newly split universes, you hear a click and survive. In the other half, you die instantly. Now you pull the trigger again and again. With each pull, the universe splits. In one branch, you continue. In the other, a version of you ceases to exist. After 100 pulls, there is only one universe left out of a vast number where you are still alive, having miraculously gotten the safe outcome every single time. From the perspective of that one remaining version of you, it would seem as if you cannot die. You would experience a continuous, unbroken stream of consciousness where you survive against all odds every single time. The other versions of you, the ones who died, are no longer around to experience anything. Their stories are over, but your story, from your point of view, continues forever. This is not about cheating death through luck, but about the nature of a conscious observer in a reality that constantly divides. Your awareness seems to follow the path where you continue to exist, no matter how improbable that path becomes. This leads to a terrifying corollary. If this is true, then you might already be one of these immortal versions of yourself. Any fatal accident that should have happened, from a near-miss car crash to a sudden, undiagnosed illness, did happen in countless other branches. You simply are not in those branches. You are only aware of the single, unbroken thread of reality where you have, so far, always survived. This suggests that from your own first-person perspective, you might be fated to live forever, watching everyone else eventually vanish from your continuous timeline, while you persist through a series of increasingly improbable escapes. It is a form of immortality born not from triumph, but from a silent, unseen carnage occurring in realities you will never know. The unsettling possibility of quantum immortality forces us to question the very nature of our reality. Could the continuity of our consciousness be evidence of something even stranger? The ninth shocking secret reframes one of the most famous modern philosophical ideas, revealing that the simulation argument is at its core a multiverse theory. The logic begins with a simple premise. If any advanced civilization ever reaches a level of technological maturity capable of running highly detailed, conscious simulations of its own history, then it would likely not run just one. It would create vast numbers of them, perhaps millions or billions, each a self-contained digital universe with simulated beings who believe their world is real. Now consider the sheer numbers. There would be one original, base reality, and a near-infinite number of simulated realities descended from it. If this is the case, then the number of simulated minds would astronomically outnumber the number of real, original minds. From a statistical standpoint, if you are a conscious being, the odds are overwhelmingly high that you are one of the simulated ones, living in a constructed reality, rather than a biological ancestor in the base reality. This does not mean our universe is fake or meaningless. It simply means that our cosmos might be one of countless digital habitats running on the unimaginable computing power of a post-human civilization. Our laws of physics would be their programmed parameters. The Big Bang would be their initialization sequence. We are not necessarily living in the original universe, but in one branch of a digital multiverse, a simulated leaf on a vast technological tree of possible histories. This idea transforms the multiverse from a cosmic foam of physical bubbles into a potential hierarchy of realities, where our entire existence could be an informational structure nested inside a higher level of reality. The stars we see at night might be pixels in a cosmic display, and our quest to understand the multiverse could be the program itself beginning to comprehend its own source code. The nature of reality may be far flatter than it appears. The 10th shocking secret plunges us into the holographic principle, a concept that suggests our three-dimensional universe, with all its depth and volume, is nothing more than a magnificent illusion projected from a two-dimensional surface at its boundary. Think of a hologram on your credit card. A flat, shiny sticker contains all the information needed to generate a three-dimensional image that seems to have depth and perspective. Now scale this idea up to a cosmic level. The theory proposes that all the information describing every star, every planet, and every one of your thoughts and memories is actually encoded on a distant, two-dimensional shell that surrounds our cosmos. We are not living inside a solid, three-dimensional space. We are living inside a projection, a cosmic movie being displayed from the edges of our reality. This is not a metaphor. The physics of black holes provided the first clue. The amount of information a black hole can contain is not proportional to its volume, as you might expect, but to the surface area of its event horizon. It is as if the entire interior of a black hole, a region of immense three-dimensional space, is described by a two-dimensional film at its boundary. Physicists then asked a radical question: what if our entire universe operates on the same principle? The three dimensions we experience so vividly could be an emergent property, a holographic reconstruction of data stored on a flat surface at the edge of everything we can see. This leads to a staggering implication for the multiverse. If our universe is a hologram, then every other bubble universe in the cosmic sea could be the same. Each one is a self-contained projection, a separate holographic display with its own two-dimensional boundary encoding its unique three-dimensional reality. In one universe, the two-dimensional data might project laws of physics where light moves slower. In another, it might create a reality with 4 spatial dimensions instead of our 3. The entire multiverse, in this view, is not a collection of solid spheres but a library of cosmic films, each one playing a different version of existence. You listening to this are not just a collection of atoms. You are an incredibly complex pattern of information, a character in a cosmic story being read from the surface of the world. The solidity of the floor beneath your feet and the vast emptiness of space are both part of the same grand illusion, a holographic reality of unimaginable depth, projected from a surface that is fundamentally and utterly flat. The classic grandfather paradox has long been the death of time travel dreams. If you went back and prevented your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, you would erase your own existence, making the trip impossible. It is a logical loop that seems to forbid any journey into the past, but the multiverse shatters this paradox completely. When you activate a hypothetical time machine, you are not actually traveling backward along your own timeline. You are punching a hole into a new, parallel universe that is identical to your past up to the moment you arrive. The instant you step out of the machine, you have already created a split. In this new branch reality, you are now an external element, a random person from the future who has suddenly appeared. You can do anything you want. You could prevent your grandfather's meeting, and it would work perfectly. That branch of the multiverse would then continue to develop without your original self ever being born. But this has zero effect on the universe you came from. Your own history, your own memories, your own grandparents remain completely untouched and unchanged. You have not rewritten your past, you have simply become the founder of a new, divergent future, an entire timeline that spawns from your interference. This means time travel is not about changing what was, but about initiating what could be. Every decision a time traveler makes does not create a paradox, it creates a new universe. The past is not a fragile thread to be broken, but an infinite tapestry of fixed moments, each one a launch point for endless new realities. So you could meet your younger self, give yourself the winning lottery numbers, or even alter the course of world history, but the you that left home would never return to see the consequences. You would have to live out your days in the new world you created, a permanent stranger in a reality that is almost but not quite your own. This apparent perfection of our universe is a cosmic mirage. The 12th shocking secret reveals that the universe's fine-tuning is not a sign of design, but an inevitable result of our own existence. We observe a world that seems custom-made for life because we could not possibly observe anything else. This is the anthropic principle in action, a form of cosmic survivor bias on an unimaginable scale. Consider the fundamental constants of nature, the numbers that govern the strength of gravity, the power of the nuclear forces, and the mass of an electron. If any one of these values were altered by even a tiny fraction, the universe as we know it would cease to exist. If gravity was slightly stronger, the universe would have collapsed back on itself moments after the Big Bang. If the nuclear force was slightly weaker, hydrogen would never fuse into helium and stars would never ignite. For generations, this perfect balance has been seen as one of science's greatest mysteries, a puzzle pointing toward a creator. But the multiverse offers a radically different explanation. In an infinite landscape of universes, every possible combination of physical constants exists. The vast, overwhelming majority of these universes are sterile and lifeless. Some are formless soups of radiation, others are black hole factories that last for only an instant, and still others are frozen voids where matter never coalesces. Our universe is not special. It is simply one of the exceptionally rare pockets where the numbers randomly lined up in just the right way to allow for atoms, stars, planets, and ultimately, conscious life to emerge. Imagine you are a fish born in a pond. You might look around and marvel at how perfectly the water is suited for your gills, how the temperature is ideal for your scales, and how the food supply is perfectly arranged for your survival. You might conclude that the pond was made just for you, but you never see the countless other ponds that are too acidic, too salty, or completely dry where no fish could ever live. You are only aware of your own pond because it is the only kind of pond that can support your existence. We are that fish. Our universe is our pond. The fact that we are here to measure these constants is not proof of fine-tuning. It is the only possible outcome we could ever witness. Our presence as observers automatically selects for the rare, habitable universe we call home. The mystery vanishes when you realize we are not the purpose of the cosmos, but merely a rare and fortunate accident in a vast cosmic desert. This endless cosmic inflation is not a gentle process, but a violent and chaotic genesis. Within the seething, exponentially expanding energy of the meta-universe, pockets of that energy can randomly decay, like bubbles suddenly forming in a pot of boiling water. Each of these bubbles represents a region where the frantic inflation stops, and that energy crystallizes into the stable particles and forces of a new universe like our own. This is eternal inflation, a self-replicating engine of reality that has no beginning and no end, constantly giving birth to new cosmic islands. Yet these bubbles are not isolated. They are jostling and expanding within the same roiling medium, and sometimes they can crash into one another. When two of these infant universes collide, the event would be a cosmological catastrophe of unimaginable scale. The collision would send a shattering ripple through the very fabric of both realities, a cosmic tsunami propagating through space and time. For a universe like ours, such a collision in its distant past would leave a permanent scar, a distinct and asymmetric pattern etched onto the oldest light we can see, the cosmic microwave background. Astronomers have actively searched for these ghostly imprints, looking for strange, circular bruises in the background radiation that could be the cosmic equivalent of a bruise from a collision with a neighboring reality. Finding such a mark would be the first direct physical evidence that we are not alone in the greater multiverse. It would be a profound discovery, proving that our entire cosmos once brushed against another, entirely different universe with its own laws of physics, a silent witness to a collision of worlds at the dawn of everything. The idea of an infinite multiverse often feels like a philosophical fantasy, something forever beyond the reach of science. But what if we could actually find its fingerprints? This 14th secret reveals that the multiverse is not necessarily untestable, and scientists are actively hunting for its signature in the oldest light in the cosmos. That light is the cosmic microwave background, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang that fills all of space. This radiation is a baby picture of our universe, and etched into its subtle patterns could be the scars of events that happened before our universe even began. One of the most sought-after clues is a specific kind of bruise, a strange, circular pattern of hot and cold spots that cannot be explained by any process within our standard cosmic history. Such an imprint could be the shockwave from a collision with another bubble universe in the primordial foam. When two of these infant realities slammed together, the energy released would have sent a ripple through the very fabric of our cosmos, a permanent mark on its surface that we might still detect billions of years later. Finding one of these cosmic crash sites would be like discovering a fossilized footprint of a giant that walked before time itself began. Beyond collisions, the fundamental quantum fluctuations that seeded all the galaxies we see today might also carry a signature of their origin. If our universe is just one bubble in an eternally inflating metacosmos, the specific way those fluctuations were generated could produce a unique statistical pattern in the background radiation, a kind of cosmic barcode that points to a larger multiversal structure. The search for these signals is already underway with space-based telescopes and sophisticated computer models. We are no longer just speculating about other worlds. We are looking for their shadows on the wall of our own cave, searching for evidence that our reality once touched another. This transforms the multiverse from a metaphysical idea into a potential scientific fact, something we could one day confirm with a telescope and a hard drive full of data. The greatest discovery in human history might not be finding life on another planet, but finding proof of another universe entirely. Your own consciousness might be the ultimate time traveler, navigating the infinite branches of reality not by choice but by necessity. This 15th secret plunges us into one of the most personal and unsettling implications of the multiverse, a concept that redefines the very nature of death and the self. It suggests your stream of awareness is not tied to a single body in a single universe, but is a persistent point of view that continuously follows a path through the multiverse where you remain alive. Think of your life as a movie being projected onto a vast array of screens, each showing a slightly different version of the film. Most versions are nearly identical, but at critical moments the plots diverge wildly. In one theater, your character survives a car crash. In the theater next door, that version of you does not. This theory proposes that your conscious self, the you that is listening right now, is not watching all the movies at once. You are only ever aware of the single screening where the protagonist, which is you, continues to exist. Every time a potentially fatal event occurs, your awareness seamlessly jumps to the nearest universe where you survived the incident, completely unaware that countless other versions of you have just perished. You would never experience your own death. From your first-person perspective, you would always find yourself on the safe side of the statistics, surviving against all odds. That near miss you had last year, the time you almost fell from a ladder or swerved to avoid an accident, in those moments, other versions of you were not so lucky. But you are here because you are only ever conscious of the timeline where you made it. This leads to the staggering idea of subjective immortality. You might be fated to live forever, not as an ageless god, but as a consciousness that continually migrates to a reality where it can persist, no matter how improbable that reality becomes. As the years pass, you would witness the world growing stranger and stranger, surviving global catastrophes and personal tragedies that should have been fatal, your life stretching into a future that seems statistically impossible. Your unbroken stream of memories is not proof of a single, linear life, but evidence of a journey across the multiverse, a path you are walking where, by definition, you always survive. Probability itself begins to unravel when faced with the infinite. In our everyday world, rolling a die and getting a 6 is a 1 in 6 chance, a straightforward calculation of odds. But in a true multiverse, these rules cease to apply in any absolute sense. Every single possible outcome of every single event is guaranteed to happen somewhere, and not just once, but an infinite number of times. The concept of a rare event becomes meaningless on a cosmic scale. A universe where you win the lottery by pure chance is not just a fluke, it is a statistical certainty repeated across countless realities. A reality where every single air molecule in your room spontaneously moves to one corner, leaving you in a vacuum, is not an impossible fantasy. It is happening right now in an infinite number of worlds. Chance is not a fundamental property of reality. It is an illusion created by our limited, local perspective. We are simply living in a pocket of the multiverse where the statistics appear stable and predictable. Think of it like a vast ocean. From your small boat, the waves seem to follow a certain rhythm and pattern, but you are not seeing the ocean. You are only seeing your tiny patch of water. The true nature of the sea includes every possible wave, from gentle ripples to mile-high tsunamis, all occurring simultaneously across its infinite expanse. Your life feels governed by probability only because you are experiencing one single, consistent thread of outcomes. The shocking truth is that nothing is truly improbable. Everything that can happen does happen infinitely and eternally. The roll of the dice, the flip of a coin, the chance encounter that changes your life, these are not random accidents in the grand scheme. They are fixed points in an infinite tapestry, and your experience of luck or fortune is merely a reflection of which particular thread you happen to be holding. Our entire reality might be a single page in a vast cosmic atlas. This 17th secret pushes beyond the idea of isolated bubbles to explore the shape of the multiverse itself, a geometry that could be anything from an infinite fractal to a higher dimensional ocean. One compelling vision is the fractal multiverse, a structure that repeats its patterns at every scale forever. Imagine a colossal tree where each branch is a universe, and each twig on that branch is another universe, and each leaf on that twig is yet another reality. There is no trunk, no single origin point, just an endless, self-similar cascade of worlds branching from other worlds in an infinite regress. In this view, our universe is not a solitary bubble but one leaf among an infinite number, and the process that created it is happening at every level, from the grandest cosmic structures down to the fabric of space-time itself. Another, even more radical shape comes from string theory, known as the brain multiverse. Brain is short for membrane, and this theory proposes that our entire three-dimensional universe is a single, vast membrane, or brain for short, floating within a higher dimensional space called the bulk. Picture our cosmos as a gigantic, impossibly thin slice of bread, drifting in a higher dimensional loaf. Other universes are other slices, parallel to our own but separated in these extra dimensions. We are stuck on our brain, unable to perceive or interact with these parallel realities directly, because all the particles and forces we know of are confined to our slice. Only gravity, the theory suggests, can leak across the gap, a faint whisper from a neighboring slice of reality that might explain strange phenomena like the dark flow. The shape of this higher dimensional bulk determines everything. It could be flat or warped or even folded in on itself, creating shortcuts between brains that are trillions of light years apart in our dimensions. The ultimate structure of all that exists may not be a simple collection of spheres, but a dynamic, multidimensional sculpture of unimaginable complexity, where our familiar 4 dimensions of space and time are merely the surface of a deeper, hidden reality. Deep within the heart of a black hole, where our laws of physics break down, a new cosmos might be taking its first breath. The 18th shocking secret suggests that every black hole is not a tomb but a womb. The singularity at its core, a point of infinite density, could be the very spark that ignites a new Big Bang, giving birth to a self-contained universe entirely separate from our own. This is the theory of black hole cosmology, and it paints a picture of an endless cycle of cosmic reproduction. Our universe, with its hundreds of billions of galaxies, each containing billions of stars, is itself a factory for creating new realities. Every time a massive star collapses and forms a black hole, it may not be a final act of destruction. Instead, that collapse could trigger a process where the crushed remains of the star rebound in a new dimension, inflating into a vast, expanding universe of its own. Think of it like a tree producing seeds. Our cosmos is the tree, and black holes are its seeds, each one falling and sprouting into a new tree in a forest we can never see. This new daughter universe would likely inherit some of the properties of its parent, but with subtle, random variations in its fundamental constants. In one black hole-born universe, gravity might be a little stronger. In another, the charge of an electron could be fractionally different. This provides a stunning mechanism for the diversity we see in the string theory landscape. Black holes are the engines of variation, constantly testing new physical laws in an endless Darwinian struggle for cosmic fitness. Our own universe, then, might not be the first. It could be one in a long chain of universes, each born from a black hole in a preceding reality. The Big Bang becomes less of a unique beginning and more of a commonplace event, a single link in an infinite chain of cosmic ancestry stretching back forever into the past and forward into an unknowable future. We are not just living in a universe, we are living inside a cosmic progenitor, surrounded by the seeds of new worlds being sown in the darkest corners of space. The sheer scope of these ideas can feel overwhelming, but a remarkable framework exists to organize the chaos. Physicist Max Tegmark proposed a 4-level classification for the multiverse, each level more radical and encompassing than the last. Level 1 is the simplest to grasp, and it is almost certainly real. This is the multiverse of regions beyond our cosmic horizon. Our universe is expanding, and because light has a finite speed, we can only see so far. There is a cosmic wall, a horizon beyond which we cannot observe, but the universe does not just stop there. It continues, likely forever. In an infinite space, every possible configuration of matter must repeat. Somewhere far beyond what we can ever see, there is an identical copy of our solar system, with an identical copy of you, listening to an identical version of this script. Further out, there are versions where one atom is out of place, and further still, realities that are utterly alien. This is not speculation about other dimensions or quantum splits. It is a direct consequence of an infinite, post-inflationary cosmos. Level 2 takes us into the bubbling foam of eternal inflation. These are the separate bubble universes, each with their own unique and potentially different laws of physics. In one bubble, gravity might be a crushing force, while in another, the very concept of an atom is impossible. Our entire observable universe is just one small patch inside a single, stable bubble. Level 3 will sound familiar. It is the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. This is the multiverse of branching timelines where every quantum decision spawns a new reality. A universe exists where you are reading this sentence in a different font, and another where a different composer wrote the music you are hearing. The key distinction is that Level 2 creates universes with different fundamental rules, while Level 3 creates universes that share the same underlying physics but diverge in their history and events. Then we reach the ultimate frontier, Level 4. This is the mathematical multiverse, the totality of all mathematical structures. It contains every universe that is logically possible, every self-consistent set of equations, regardless of whether it resembles our own physics in any way. A universe operating on the rules of chess is there, as is a reality with 17 spatial dimensions. Levels 1, 2, and 3 are merely subsets of this ultimate mathematical plenitude, specific examples within an infinite set of all possible existences. This framework does more than just categorize, it reveals a staggering hierarchy. The reality next door could be a nearly identical copy of our own, a cosmos with alien laws, a divergent timeline, or a structure built from a logic we cannot even comprehend. Your doppelganger might be a Level 1 duplicate in a distant galaxy, or a Level 3 version who made a different choice this morning, or a Level 4 entity whose very form is a geometric equation. The multiverse is not one idea, but a ladder of concepts, each step taking us further from home and deeper into the heart of all that could ever be. This endless chain of cosmic ancestry leads to a breathtaking possibility. Perhaps the entire multiverse is not a one-time explosion of being, but a single, eternal entity breathing in and out. The 20th shocking secret reveals a cyclic model of existence where universes are born, die, and are reborn in an endless cosmic dance. Forget a single Big Bang as the absolute beginning. Imagine instead a big bounce. Our universe expands from an incredibly hot, dense state, just as we observe, but it does not fade into cold emptiness. Eventually, the pull of gravity or the influence of a mysterious dark energy reverses the expansion. All matter and energy are drawn back together in a cataclysmic big crunch. But this collapse does not end in a final singularity. Instead, the immense pressure and energy trigger a rebound, a new Big Bang, birthing a fresh universe from the ashes of the old one. This cycle could repeat forever, with each new universe inheriting a faint, scrambled imprint of the one before it. The information that constituted every star, every planet, and every conscious thought in a previous cycle is not lost. It is recycled, transformed, and woven into the fundamental fabric of the next cosmic incarnation. The laws of physics themselves might evolve slightly with each bounce, tuning the universe over countless cycles until the conditions for life emerge. This is not a linear multiverse of separate bubbles, but a serial multiverse, a single, evolving reality experiencing itself across eons. Our entire history, from the first stars to this very moment, could be one chapter in an infinite volume book where the end of one story is merely the prologue to the next. We are not just living in a universe, but a phase in a cosmic heartbeat, a single exhalation in an eternal breath. That strange connection between particles might be the first thread leading out of our universe. Quantum entanglement is famously called spooky action at a distance by Einstein, a phenomenon where two particles become linked in such a way that measuring one instantly influences the other, no matter how far apart they are. This seems to violate the cosmic speed limit of light, creating a paradox that has baffled physicists for generations. But what if the spookiness is not happening across a vast distance within our cosmos, but across the infinitesimal gap between two parallel realities? Imagine two entangled particles in a lab. In our universe, you observe one particle and find it spinning clockwise. That act of observation forces the particle into a definite state. But according to the many worlds interpretation, the moment you looked, the universe split. In one branch, you see a clockwise spin. In the new, separate branch, an identical version of you sees the very same particle spinning counterclockwise. The instantaneous change is not a signal traveling faster than light. It is the universe you are in becoming consistent with the outcome you witnessed, while another universe becomes consistent with the opposite outcome. The particles are not communicating, they are bookmarks, each one holding a place in a different volume of the same cosmic library. You and your doppelganger in the next branch are both looking at your respective particles, each convinced you have caused the distant particle to react, when in truth you have each simply settled into your own separate, self-consistent reality. This means the weirdness of quantum mechanics could be the first direct evidence that we are constantly branching, and that these other worlds are not just theoretical, but are actively shaping the outcomes we perceive in our own. The spooky connection is not a force, but a reflection, a glimpse of the infinite mirror hall of existence we are all walking through. Our own survival might be the very thing blinding us to the true dangers of existence. This 20-second secret reveals a terrifying multiversal bias known as the anthropic shadow, a statistical illusion that makes us dangerously complacent about global threats. Because we are here to observe the universe, we naturally live in a cosmic lineage that has so far avoided any planet-killing catastrophe. We look at Earth's 4.5 billion-year history and see a record of resilience, with life enduring through ice ages and asteroid impacts. This perspective makes events like a global pandemic or a supervolcanic eruption seem like rare, once-in-an-eon occurrences, but the multiverse suggests this is a profound misreading of the odds. For every universe like ours where life has survived, there are countless others where it was utterly erased. Imagine a vast firing squad of universes, each with a gun pointed at its own planetary life. In nearly all of them, the trigger was pulled early on. A gamma-ray burst sterilized a world before multicellular life could form. A rogue planet smashed into another, or a vacuum decay event unraveled space-time itself. We are not living in a universe that is magically safe. We are simply the lucky survivors in the one timeline that has, against astronomical odds, dodged every single cosmic bullet so far. We are like a lone soldier who has walked through a minefield without a scratch, convinced the field is mostly clear because he is still standing. He cannot see the countless other soldiers who did not make it. This anthropic shadow means we are likely underestimating the true frequency of existential risks. The fact that we have never observed a nearby star go supernova and wipe out our ozone layer does not mean it cannot happen. It only means we do not live in a universe where it has happened yet. Our entire civilization is built on a foundation of historical data that is skewed by our own existence, a data set from which all the true disasters have been silently removed. The quiet stability we enjoy may not be the norm but the exception, and our future could be far more fragile than we dare to believe. This branching reality forces a confrontation with one of humanity's oldest philosophical puzzles. If every possible version of every choice is realized somewhere, can we truly claim to have free will? It seems our every decision is not a singular act of will, but a fork in an infinite road, with different versions of ourselves driving down every possible path. One interpretation is stark: our sense of choice is a complete and utter illusion. You did not freely choose to wear a blue shirt today. The universal wave function simply evolved, and in this branch you ended up wearing blue, while in countless others you're wearing red or green or no shirt at all. Your internal deliberation was just a complex physical process playing out with predetermined results across the multiverse. You are a passenger on a train whose tracks were laid at the dawn of time, merely watching the scenery go by. Yet another view offers a strange form of liberation. Perhaps free will is not about being the sole author of a single story, but about being the active protagonist in the story you are actually experiencing. Your choices are real because they define which branch of reality you will personally inhabit. The you in this universe genuinely weighed the options and selected the blue shirt. That act of selection was your free will in action, carving out the specific timeline you now call your life. The existence of other versions who chose differently does not invalidate your experience any more than the existence of other people making different choices in this world invalidates yours. Your consciousness is not spread across all branches, it is localized to this one. From your perspective, the choice was free, and its consequences are uniquely yours to live with. This compatibilist view merges the multiverse with a personal sense of agency. You are both the author and the reader of your own chapter in the infinite library of existence, making meaningful decisions that determine your specific journey through the cosmos. The question then shifts from whether choice is an illusion to what or who is doing the choosing. Is it the localized you in this moment, or the grander, branching entity that is the sum of all your possible selves? Your very identity is the next casualty of the infinite. With every possible version of you living out every conceivable life, the idea of a single, continuous self begins to dissolve into a cosmic crowd. Who is the real you? Is it the person listening to this, or the version who stopped watching minutes ago? The one who pursued a different career, or the one who never even existed in this universe? There is no single answer because there is no single you. Your identity is not a fixed point, but a probability cloud of potential selves, each one convinced they are the original, each one carrying a slightly different bundle of memories and experiences. Think of a stone statue being worn down by rain over centuries. At what point does it stop being the original statue? In the multiverse, this erosion happens with every decision. The you from 5 years ago is, in a very real sense, a different person from the you of today, and both of you have countless siblings living in parallel timelines. This fragmentation forces a deep and personal identity crisis. Your cherished memories, the core experiences that define who you are not unique to you. They are shared in near-identical form with an infinite number of other beings. Your sense of self, that internal narrator you have known your entire life, is not a singular entity. It is a temporary alignment of consciousness on one specific branch of reality. When you feel regret for a past mistake, there is a version of you who feels the relief of having made the right choice. When you celebrate a triumph, another version of you is grappling with the sting of failure. Your entire emotional landscape is just one slice of a vast, multiversal spectrum of feeling. This does not make your experiences less meaningful, but it does reframe them. You are not a solitary soul on a linear journey. You are a localized expression of a much grander, branching phenomenon. The question is no longer who you are, but which you happen to be right now. This splintering of self forces a deeper question about the very substance of awareness. If our individual consciousness is just a localized flicker, what is the nature of the mind that houses the entire infinite multiverse? Some philosophies and scientific theories propose that consciousness is not a product of complex biology, but a fundamental property of reality itself, as basic as space and time. This view, called panpsychism, suggests that even the smallest particles possess a minute form of raw experience, a single note of feeling. In an electron, this might be an unimaginably simple sensation. In a human brain, it is the symphony of thought, memory, and emotion. Now, scale this idea up to the ultimate level. The multiverse, in its entirety, is a structure of unimaginable complexity and interconnection. According to frameworks like integrated information theory, any system that processes information in a sufficiently unified and complex way will inevitably give rise to consciousness. The multiverse, as a single, coherent entity containing all possible states and their relationships, would represent the highest possible level of integrated information. It would not merely contain conscious beings, it would itself be conscious. Our entire cosmos, with its billions of galaxies and countless branching timelines, might be a single thought in a vast cosmic mind. Each universe within the multiverse could be a distinct idea or a fleeting dream within this overarching consciousness. The Big Bang would not be a random explosion, but the moment a new concept formed. The life and death of stars would be the firing of cosmic neurons. Your own life, with all its joys and sorrows, is a single, intricate detail in a contemplation of infinite scope. This does not mean the multiverse is a god in a traditional sense, with intentions or desires we can comprehend. Its consciousness would be so alien, so vast, that our human experience would be less than a single letter in an infinite library. We are not just living in a universe, we are participating in the ongoing thought process of all that exists, our every action and decision adding a subtle nuance to a boundless, eternal meditation. The mathematical zoo of alien physics contains realities so bizarre they defy every instinct we possess. Within the infinite landscape of the multiverse, the laws that govern our cozy corner of existence are not the standard, they are the extreme exception. Most cosmic domains are utterly hostile to anything we would recognize as matter, let alone life. Imagine a universe where the force of gravity is 1 billion times stronger than in our own. Here, the very concept of a planet is impossible. Any lump of matter would instantly collapse under its own weight, crushing itself into a black hole in a fraction of a second. Stars could never ignite, as fusion would be strangled before it could begin, leaving a cosmos of darkness punctuated only by the gravitational ripples of endless collisions. In another corner of the zoo, the weak nuclear force might be entirely absent. This seemingly minor force is crucial for the nuclear reactions that power stars and for the process of radioactive decay. Without it, the universe would be a sterile soup of hydrogen and helium. The complex atoms that build planets and people, like carbon and oxygen, would never be forged in stellar furnaces. This reality would be a vast, cold cloud of primordial gas, a cosmic nebula with no hope of ever coalescing into anything more. There are domains where the speed of light is only 10 miles per hour, making relativity an everyday experience and confining any potential consciousness to a frustratingly small world. Other universes might have more than 3 spatial dimensions, where gravity diminishes so rapidly that planets could never form stable orbits around stars, and the very idea of a solar system becomes a chaotic impossibility. Some mathematical structures might describe realities where time is 2-dimensional, creating a plane of existence instead of a line, or where cause and effect are not linked, leading to a cosmos of pure, random fluctuation. This is not a gallery of monsters, but a necessary consequence of a multiverse built on all possible equations. For every one universe like ours, with its perfect balance for complexity, there are googles of cosmic graveyards, silent and inert, or realms of such violent and constant transformation that no structure can endure for more than an instant. Our existence is a testament to a lottery of unimaginable odds, a single, shining point of stability in a zoo of physical chaos. Our most fundamental experience of reality, the steady and relentless flow of time, may be the ultimate local illusion. The 27th secret reveals that time itself might not be a fundamental feature of the cosmos, but an emergent property that bubbles up within each universe, while the greater multiverse exists in a state of timeless eternity. Think of a single frame from a movie, frozen and static. That frame contains all the information for that moment, the positions of every actor, the expression on every face. Now imagine the entire film strip with every single frame laid out all at once. The story is all there, complete from beginning to end. There is no flow, no past or future, just a fixed, eternal structure. This is how some physicists view the multiverse. Our conscious journey from birth to death, our sense of past receding and future approaching, is merely our limited perspective as we move through this fixed block of reality, like a tiny spotlight scanning one frame of the film strip after another. The flow is not in the film, it is in the movement of the light. This suggests that the multiverse as a whole does not change or evolve, it simply is. Every moment, every event, every possible history and future is eternally present in a vast, static structure sometimes called the block universe. Your birth, your life, and your death are all equally real and fixed points in this cosmic tapestry, and your feeling of moving through time is just the path your consciousness takes through this pre-existing landscape. In this timeless view, the Big Bang is not an event that happened 14 billion years ago. It is a location in the multiversal structure, a fixed point that we are cosmically far from, just as a city on a map is a fixed point far from your current location. The origin of time, then, is not a beginning but a boundary, a place where our local rules of cause and effect first crystallized from the timeless whole. We are not traveling through time, we are discovering it moment by moment, unwinding a thread that was already woven into the fabric of everything at the dawn of existence. This paradox strikes at the heart of physics itself. For decades, a terrifying thought haunted physicists: what happens to information that falls into a black hole? According to Einstein's general relativity, a black hole is defined only by its mass, spin, and charge. It has no hair, no memory of what created it or what fell in. If you throw a detailed encyclopedia into a black hole, the book is utterly obliterated, crushed into the singularity. The information contained in its pages, the specific arrangement of atoms that spelled out every word, seems to be permanently erased from our universe. Yet quantum mechanics, our other pillar of physics, insists that information can never be truly destroyed. It can be scrambled, hidden, or transformed, but it must be preserved in principle. This is the black hole information paradox, a fundamental conflict between our two greatest theories of reality. The multiverse offers an elegant and profound escape from this dead end. The information is not lost at all, it simply emigrates when matter and energy cross a black hole's event horizon and plunge toward the singularity. That point of infinite density does not mark the end. According to some resolutions, it is a gateway. The information carried by that doomed encyclopedia is not erased. It is translated, encoded onto the fabric of the new universe being born from the black hole's interior. Our universe loses the information, but the daughter universe gains it. From our perspective, the information has vanished without a trace. From the perspective of the greater multiverse, it has been perfectly preserved, simply relocated to a new cosmic address. Another solution uses the language of quantum branches. The moment the encyclopedia crosses the event horizon, the universal wave function splits. In one branch of reality, the information is seemingly destroyed as the book is vaporized by Hawking radiation in a random, information-less form. But in another, equally real branch, the information is perfectly transmitted and preserved through a complex quantum process we do not yet fully understand. Our local reality only perceives one outcome, the one where information appears to vanish, but the multiverse as a whole ensures that no bit of data is ever truly lost. The paradox is solved not by changing the rules of our universe, but by realizing that our universe is not a closed system. It is part of a vast, interconnected network where information is the one currency that is always conserved, flowing from one reality to the next in an endless cycle of cosmic inheritance. This apparent specialness of our world is a statistical ghost. We are forced to confront the problem of measure, a deep puzzle about probability in an infinite reality. If the multiverse is a vast desert of dead universes with only the rarest oasis of life, why are we so lucky to find ourselves standing by a watering hole? The answer seems obvious: we could not be anywhere else, but this self-locating assumption is far more complex than it appears. It is the only clue we have to our own cosmic address. Think of yourself as a single, conscious needle in an infinite haystack. The haystack contains every possible state of existence, from total emptiness to vibrant complexity. When you wake up and find yourself as a thinking being on a life-bearing planet, you have not defied the odds. You have simply drawn the only possible ticket that allows you to be aware of the draw at all. This logic resolves the fine-tuning puzzle, but it creates a new one. How do we count the possibilities in an infinite multiverse? Imagine an endless hotel with an infinite number of rooms. 99% of them are dark, cold, and empty. Only 1% are warm, lit, and habitable. If you are a guest in this hotel, you will always find yourself in a lit room. The problem is, infinity makes percentages tricky. What if for every one hospitable universe, there are actually an infinite number of inhospitable ones? In an infinite set, both the number of good universes and the number of bad universes can be infinite. Comparing one infinity to another is a mathematical nightmare. This is the measure problem. Without a way to define what typical means in an infinite cosmos, we cannot say whether our universe is rare or common. We only know it is possible. This sparks a fierce philosophical debate. Are we a random, ordinary sample from the set of all possible observers, or does our very existence suggest something deeper about the structure of reality? Perhaps the laws of physics are not randomly selected, but are constrained in a way that makes life more likely than a simple count of universes would suggest. Our presence here might be more than a lucky accident. It could be a fundamental clue, a reflection of a cosmos where conscious observation is not a fluke, but an integral part of its endless, branching story. The cosmos might not just be governed by mathematics, it could be actively computing. This 30th secret proposes that the entire multiverse is the ultimate quantum computer, a vast processing engine where every universe is a single calculation in an infinite cosmic program. Think of a traditional computer solving one problem at a time in a linear sequence. A quantum computer, however, exploits the strange laws of the micro-world to explore every possible solution to a problem simultaneously. It does not check one answer after another, it checks all answers at once, a process called quantum parallelism. Now scale this idea to its absolute limit. The multiverse, in this view, is the physical manifestation of this process. Every branching timeline, every bubble universe with its unique laws, is not a random accident. It is a single thread of a cosmic computation, one possible outcome being rendered real. The wave function of the entire multiverse is not just a description of reality, it is the program itself, evolving and calculating every possible state. Your life, in all its intricate detail, is one line of code being executed. The birth of a star is a subroutine. The collision of two galaxies is a complex operation. We are not just living in a universe, we are living inside a running calculation of incomprehensible scale. What is the machine computing? Perhaps it is simulating every possible reality, a project of ultimate exploration. Or maybe it is solving a single, infinitely complex problem, and our existence is merely a byproduct of the processing effort. The Big Bang would be the boot-up sequence, and the ongoing expansion of our universe is the relentless writing of new data into the cosmic memory. This transforms our understanding of existence. The laws of physics are not arbitrary rules, they are the fundamental operating system of the computer. The constants of nature, like the speed of light, are the system's fixed parameters. Even the spooky connection of quantum entanglement could be seen as a form of instant date, a linkage between different parts of the processor. In this digital cosmos, you are both the user and the output, a conscious result of a calculation that has been running since the beginning of everything. The vast emptiness between the galaxies might not be empty at all. Scattered across our universe are immense cosmic voids, regions of space so profoundly barren they can span hundreds of millions of light years, containing almost no stars or galaxies. These are not random blanks on the map, but fundamental structures in the cosmic web. One radical hypothesis suggests these voids are far more than just empty space. They could be bruises, points where our universe is pressed against the skin of another. In this view, the fabric of space-time within a void is stretched and thinned like a worn patch on a balloon. At these thin spots, the underlying reality of the greater multiverse might be closer to the surface. The gravitational influence of a neighboring universe, a separate bubble in the cosmic foam. could be pushing against our own, creating a repulsive force that clears out matter and energy, leaving behind these staggering deserts. We perceive this effect as dark energy, the mysterious force accelerating the expansion of our cosmos, but its source could be external, a gentle pressure from the multiverse itself. Imagine two soap bubbles floating in a basin, gently touching. At the point of contact, their surfaces flatten and merge into a shared boundary. Our cosmic voids might be those points of contact where the laws of our physics subtly blend with the laws of another reality. This would mean that when we peer into the deepest void, we are not looking at nothing. We are looking at a window, a place where the wall between worlds is nearly transparent. The great emptiness is an illusion, hiding the presence of an entirely different cosmos, separated from us by a barrier so thin it might as well be a ghost. The next time you see a map of the cosmic web, remember that the dark patches are not voids. They are the places where our universe is holding hands with another. Our most cherished scientific truths might be nothing more than local ordinances. The very laws of physics we consider universal and unchanging, from gravity to electromagnetism, could be mere bylaws specific only to our particular cosmic neighborhood. In the Grand Council of the Multiverse, there is no single constitution that governs all realities. Each bubble universe, each branching timeline, operates under its own set of rules, forged in the chaotic conditions of its birth. What we call the speed of light is not a cosmic speed limit, but a local traffic law. In a neighboring universe, light might travel 1,000,000 times faster or creep along at walking pace, fundamentally altering the very nature of causality and time. The force that binds atoms together here might be utterly absent there, rendering chemistry impossible and leaving a formless, elemental mist. This shatters the physicist's dream of a single, elegant theory of everything that applies to all of creation. Our quest is not to find the fundamental law, but to document the specific regulations of our own cosmic town. We are not uncovering the universe's ultimate code. We are merely reading the municipal statutes posted on our local reality. This means there is no reason why the laws should be mathematical or even consistent over immense scales within a single universe. They are simply the stable, self-consistent patterns that happen to crystallize as our bubble cooled, one possible configuration among an infinite set of working and non-working systems. The force you feel holding you in your chair is not a divine decree, but a random local custom, as arbitrary as the side of the road people drive on in different countries. Your entire existence is shaped by a set of rules that, from a multiversal perspective, are no more fundamental or special than the particular shade of blue in our sky. The sheer number of possible realities is not just an idea, but a physical place. The landscape of string theory is a vast mathematical terrain, a cosmic atlas of existence where every point on the map is not a location in space, but an entire universe with its own unique set of physical laws. Each point represents a stable vacuum state, a specific way for the fundamental fields to settle into a low-energy configuration. Think of it as a cosmic energy field with countless valleys and hollows. Each valley is a stable universe like our own, where the laws of physics are fixed and predictable. The depth of the valley represents how stable that universe is, a deep valley being a long-lived cosmos, while a shallow dip might be a universe that blinks in and out of existence in an instant. Our universe is not special in this landscape. It is simply one valley among an unimaginable number of others, one particular arrangement of the cosmic dice that resulted in the specific gravity, particles, and forces we recognize. The truly dynamic part of this picture is that these cosmic states are not permanently isolated. Quantum fluctuations can provide enough energy for a region of one universe to tunnel out of its stable valley and roll into another. This is not a journey through space, but a transition through the abstract landscape itself. A bubble of a new universe with completely different physics could spontaneously nucleate within the space of an old one, inflating at light speed and replacing the former reality with a new one. We are not just static inhabitants of a single cosmic island, but potential passengers on a raft drifting across this ultimate ocean of possibility, where the very laws of nature we depend on are subject to change without notice. The relentless forward march of time is one of our most undeniable experiences. We remember the past, we anticipate the future, and we cannot turn back. Yet physics tells us its core equations are time-symmetric, working just as well backward as forward. So why does time have an arrow at all? The answer may lie not in our single universe, but in the greater multiverse, and it is tied to a concept called entropy. Entropy is a measure of disorder, of randomness. The universe always seems to move from states of low entropy, which are rare and ordered, to high entropy, which are common and chaotic. A shattered glass does not reassemble itself, and smoke never flows back into a cigarette. This increase in entropy defines the arrow of time for us. The ultimate low entropy state was the Big Bang itself, a moment of unimaginable order and uniformity that has been unraveling ever since, giving us the flowing river of time we experience. But why was the beginning so exquisitely ordered? In a single universe, this appears to be a monumental, unexplained coincidence. The multiverse offers a radical resolution. Imagine the total multiverse is in a state of maximum entropy, a timeless, chaotic soup where nothing ever happens. But within that endless, featureless equilibrium, random fluctuations must occur. A temporary patch of order can spontaneously appear, like a single, perfect wave rising for a moment from a calm sea. Our Big Bang was that wave, a rare but inevitable fluctuation into a state of incredibly low entropy. We are not living in a universe that began in a special state. We are living inside a statistical blip, a cosmic eddy that temporarily and locally reversed the flow of disorder. Our entire arrow of time, from the birth of stars to the firing of your neurons, is simply the universe relaxing back into its natural state of chaos. We are not moving forward through time because of a fundamental law. We are sliding down a slope from a highly improbable peak of order back down into the valley of randomness. Your entire life, with all its memories and sense of a future, is just part of that long, slow descent into the quiet equilibrium of the greater multiverse. The very act of thinking is a creative force of cosmic proportions. Every fleeting thought, every minor decision you make, is not just a private event inside your skull. It is a quantum process, a storm of particles shifting and interacting at the most fundamental level. And according to the rules of the many worlds, each of those quantum events is a fork in the road. When you hesitate between two words in a sentence, the universe does not simply pick one. It splits, giving rise to two new realities, one for each version of that spoken phrase. You are not a passive passenger on a predetermined journey. You are an active, walking engine of Genesis, constantly giving birth to new worlds with the sheer momentum of your consciousness. Consider the last time you made a truly difficult choice, perhaps to end a relationship or to accept a new job. In the moment of your decision, you felt the weight of a single path being chosen. But in the unseeable fabric of reality, an entire universe blossomed into existence where a version of you made the opposite choice. That other you is now living a completely different life, born from that single, decisive quantum fluctuation in your brain. This happens not just for the big, life-altering decisions, but for the microscopic ones you never even notice. The quantum state of a single neuron firing as you recall a memory, the random decay of an atom in a cell within your finger as you tap a screen. Each of these insignificant events is a potential branch point. Your journey through life is not like walking a path, it is like a spider weaving a web of realities with every step you take. This reframes your entire existence. Your sense of free will is not an illusion, it is the local experience of being the point of a branching tree. You are the author, the protagonist, and the publisher of countless stories, each one real and valid. The you listening to this is the central character in one specific narrative, but an infinite number of other narratives are being written at this very moment, all starring different versions of you. You are not just in the multiverse, you are actively building it, one thought at a time. Gas in a container behaves in a way that is both chaotic and predictable. Each molecule zips around in a frenzy of random collisions, bouncing off the walls and each other with no apparent plan or purpose. You can never predict the path of a single specific molecule. Yet when you step back and look at the gas as a whole, its behavior becomes beautifully predictable. It exerts a steady pressure on the container, it expands to fill the available space, and it obeys the clean, simple laws of thermodynamics. Now apply this to the cosmic scale. Each individual universe within the multiverse is like one of those frenetic molecules. It has its own unique, chaotic history, its own random set of physical laws, and its own unpredictable fate. From the perspective of a single universe, existence seems governed by a specific, local set of rules. But when you view the entire multiverse as a single, vast system, a new kind of order emerges from the chaos. The infinite collection of universes, the cosmic gas, may obey its own set of laws, laws that do not apply to any one universe but only to the collective whole. These would be the emergent properties of the multiverse. For instance, while the strength of gravity is a random variable from one universe to the next, the statistical distribution of that strength across all universes might be fixed and predictable. There could be a multiversal law that dictates how many universes will have strong gravity versus weak gravity, even though which universe gets which is entirely random. The existence of life itself could be one of these emergent properties. In the cosmic gas, the vast majority of molecular universes are sterile and lifeless. But the statistical laws of the whole ensure that a certain stable percentage of them will always, by pure chance, have the right conditions for consciousness to spark. We are not a miracle in a vacuum. We are an inevitable statistical fluctuation within an infinite system, a necessary component of the multiverse's overall equilibrium. This means the ultimate laws of reality are not written in the stars of our sky, but in the grand average of all that is, all that was, and all that could ever be. This infinite cosmic plenitude presents a profound ethical dilemma. If every possible resource exists in endless abundance across the multiverse, does our struggle for conservation in this single world become meaningless? The logic seems inescapable. For every forest we clear here, an infinite number of pristine, untouched woodlands thrive in parallel realities. For every drop of oil we burn, countless oceans of it lie undisturbed in other cosmic bubbles. It would appear that scarcity is the ultimate local illusion, a problem confined to our tiny pocket of existence. Yet this perspective is dangerously seductive. It echoes a terrestrial fallacy, the belief that a single planet's resources are so vast that our consumption could never exhaust them. We now know that is not true on Earth, and it holds even less weight in the multiverse. While resources may be infinite in total, our access to them is precisely zero. The walls between universes are impermeable, locking us into the finite budget of our own world. We cannot mine another universe for precious metals or siphon its sunlight for energy. We are stranded on our own cosmic island with all its limitations, looking out at an ocean of plenty we can never drink from. This transforms the multiverse from a promise of abundance into a mirror of our own responsibility. The knowledge that other versions of Earth exist, some perhaps already ruined by their inhabitants, does not grant us a license to waste our own. It makes our stewardship more critical, not less. We are the custodians of this specific, irreplaceable thread of reality. Its beauty, its diversity, its capacity to sustain life is our unique and singular charge. The existence of infinite possibilities does not devalue our world, it highlights its precious fragility. We hold one candle in an infinite darkness, and our sole duty is to keep its flame alive. Destiny seems like a comforting idea, a single, perfect path laid out just for you. But the multiverse shatters this notion into a billion scattered fragments. If every possible future is real, then the very idea of a single, pre-written fate becomes meaningless. There is no one destiny, only an endless spectrum of destinations. Picture a single train track representing a predetermined life, a journey where every station and every view is fixed from the start. This is the block universe, a timeless structure where your entire life already exists as a completed story. Yet, the multiverse is not a single track. It is an infinite, ever-expanding train station where a new track is laid the instant a single electron wobbles, each one leading to a different terminal. So which is it, a single, frozen sculpture or a ceaselessly growing, branching tree? The breathtaking resolution is that both might be true. The greater multiverse, the ultimate block, contains every single one of those branching paths within its static, eternal structure. Your destiny is not a single thread, but the entire finished tapestry. From a God's eye view, every version of your life is already complete, from your greatest triumph to your most mundane moment. But you are not viewing it from the outside. You are a traveler walking one specific, narrow path through that infinite museum of possible lives. Your sense of a linear journey, of making choices that matter, is the experience of moving through the exhibit. The path feels open because you cannot see the other corridors, the other versions of you walking their own routes through the same vast, timeless building. Fate, then, is not a force guiding you down the one true path. It is simply the particular route you are taking through a landscape where all routes are already mapped. You still choose your direction at every fork, but every possible turn you could have made is also being taken right now by another you. This means your life is both predetermined in the grand scheme and profoundly free in your local experience. The concept of a soulmate evaporates, replaced by an infinite number of potential partners across countless realities. A single, destined purpose for your life gives way to a universe of purposes, each one equally valid and real. Your journey is not about fulfilling a cosmic contract, but about exploring one unique corner of an existence that contains all possibilities. You are not a puppet on a string, but an adventurer in the ultimate wilderness, and every step you take is both yours alone and shared with an infinite number of fellow travelers. This chaotic cosmic zoo of universes might possess a hidden order all its own. Even as the laws of physics change wildly from one bubble to the next, there could be a deeper set of rules governing the entire menagerie, a constitution for the multiverse itself. These are the meta-laws, the higher-level principles that dictate how the local laws can vary, creating a subtle structure within the infinite chaos. Imagine a vast cosmic casino with an endless number of slot machines, each one representing a potential universe. Every machine has a different set of symbols on its reels, corresponding to different strengths for gravity, different masses for electrons, and different numbers of spatial dimensions. The outcome on any single machine, the specific universe that appears, seems completely random, but the casino itself operates under strict rules. The meta-laws are the fixed design of the slot machines, determining which symbols can even appear on the reels and how likely they are to come up. They dictate the possible range of the cosmic constants. For instance, a meta-law might state that the strength of gravity can vary across universes, but it can never be exactly zero, or that the number of spatial dimensions must always be a whole number. These rules do not guarantee a life-friendly outcome, but they define the very playground of possibility. Without them, the multiverse would be pure anarchy, a lawless soup where logic itself might not hold. The meta-laws are the rigid frame upon which the infinite tapestry of reality is woven, ensuring that while universes can be wildly different, they are all still, in some fundamental way, members of the same coherent system. This means the ultimate answer to why our universe has its particular set of laws may not be a random accident, but a consequence of these deeper multiversal statutes. We are not just living in one random drawer, but in a cosmos that fits within a grand and perhaps knowable architectural plan for all of existence. Our universe has a birthday, a moment we call the Big Bang. But what about the multiverse itself? The 40th secret forces us to confront a reality where the grand structure of all existence has no birthday at all. It may be older than time, a meta-temporal entity that simply always was and always will be. Within this eternal whole, individual universes like ours are fleeting phenomena. They burst into being, expand, cool, and eventually die, whether in a slow heat death or a violent crunch. But these cosmic lifetimes are mere flickers against the backdrop of an everlasting metacosmos. Imagine an infinite, timeless ocean. Our universe is a single wave that rises up, crests for a few billion years, and then dissolves back into the water. Another wave forms elsewhere, and then another in an endless, rhythmic dance. The ocean itself was never born, and it will never die. It just is. This eternal nature resolves one of the most perplexing questions about our own origin: what happened before the Big Bang? The answer is not a mysterious state of nothingness, but the ever-present, unchanging reality of the multiverse. Our Big Bang was not the absolute beginning of everything. It was a local event, a bubble nucleation within a framework that has always existed. Time itself, as we understand it, may be a property that only emerges within each bubble universe, a local arrow that gives us a past, present, and future. But for the multiverse as a whole, all of time, from every universe's beginning to its end, may be simultaneously present in a single, frozen, eternal now. We are not living in a cosmos with a starting gun. We are living inside a single, finite chapter of a story that was never written because it was always already complete. The same quantum weirdness that spawns new realities could be the key to building the most powerful computers ever conceived. Quantum computers do not work like the machine you are using right now. A classical computer processes information in bits, simple switches that are either a 0 or a 1. It is a machine that walks down a single path, checking one possibility after another. A quantum computer, however, uses quantum bits or qubits, which can be a 0, a 1, or a bizarre superposition of both states at the same time. This is not just a faster switch. It is a fundamental shift in how computation works. When a quantum computer is set to solve a problem, it does not explore one path at a time. It leverages the superposition of its qubits to explore every single possible path simultaneously. It is as if you had a maze with trillions of different routes, and instead of walking down each one to find the exit, you could magically send a version of yourself down every corridor at once, instantly finding the correct path. How is this possible? The most compelling explanation is that the computer is not just simulating these parallel paths, it is briefly and tangibly accessing them. Each computational path is a potential reality, and the quantum processor is a device that harnesses the nascent power of the branching multiverse, forcing it to collaborate on a single, monumental calculation. The qubit in its superposition is not just in two states here, it is physically linked to different states in adjacent branches of reality. The final act of reading the result, the measurement, is the moment this cosmic collaboration ends and one specific answer crystallizes in our universe. This means the awesome power of a quantum computer is not generated by its circuitry alone. It is siphoned from the infinite computational resources of the multiverse itself. Every time a quantum calculation runs, it is proof that the boundaries between worlds are not absolute, and that the energy of creation can be tapped, not for power, but for pure, unadulterated thought. We are not just building a new machine, we are building a bridge, and on the other side, an infinite number of minds are working with us to solve the universe's greatest puzzles. We return to the terrifying quiet of the Boltzmann brain, that lone mind spontaneously forming in the emptiness with false memories of a full life. In an infinite multiverse of pure chaos, such a minimal, self-aware structure should be infinitely more common than an entire, ordered cosmos like our own. So why are we here, surrounded by billions of galaxies and a coherent history, instead of being a single, disembodied thought floating in the void? The resolution to this paradox may lie in the specific architecture of creation itself. The multiverse is not a featureless sea of random noise where any configuration is equally probable. It is structured, governed by the meta-laws of eternal inflation and quantum dynamics that favor certain kinds of beginnings. In this framework, the initial conditions for a full-fledged universe, while incredibly rare, are actually easier to produce than a single, stable, conscious brain. Think of it like a factory. It is far simpler for this cosmic factory to produce one complete, functioning car with an engine, wheels, and a chassis all at once, following a set blueprint, than it is for the same factory to randomly spit out nothing but a single, perfectly tuned radio, fully powered and playing music all on its own. The process of cosmic inflation acts as that blueprint, a powerful engine that efficiently and reliably generates vast, expanding regions of space-time with a high degree of internal order. This process naturally leads to universes with galaxies, stars, and planets. A lone, stable Boltzmann brain, however, requires a far more precise and unlikely random fluctuation within an otherwise dead and empty space. It must assemble not just consciousness, but a specific, complex structure that can support consciousness without the benefit of an organizing principle like inflation. So we are not the improbable ones. The isolated, conscious flicker in the dark is the true statistical monster, the outcome that requires a near miracle of random chance. Our existence within a vast, ordered cosmos is actually the more probable outcome within the specific, structured multiverse we seem to inhabit. We are not the cosmic accident. The Boltzmann brain is. Perhaps the deepest mystery is not the cosmos, but the very thing observing it. The hard problem of consciousness asks why and how physical processes in a lump of gray matter give rise to your rich inner world of sensations, the taste of chocolate, the feeling of sadness, the color red. Science can map which neurons fire when you see a sunset, but it cannot explain how those electrical signals transform into the breathtaking experience itself. This gap between objective brain and subjective mind has seemed unbridgeable, a ghost in the machine of our universe, yet the multiverse offers a radical shift in perspective. What if consciousness is not a rare product emerging from complex biology, but a fundamental property of reality itself, as basic as space, time, and matter? In this view, the entire multiverse is not just filled with conscious beings, it is fundamentally conscious, a vast thinking entity. Your mind is not generated by your brain. Your brain is instead a receiver, a sophisticated antenna that tunes into and localizes this underlying field of consciousness, filtering the cosmic signal into the specific personal story you call yourself. This elegantly dissolves the hard problem. The redness of red does not need to be built from non-conscious atoms. Instead, each atom, each particle, possesses a minute spark of raw, primal experience. Your brain does not create consciousness from nothing. It organizes these countless micro-experiences into the single, coherent stream of your awareness. The multiverse provides the ultimate canvas for this idea. In a cosmos of infinite variations, every possible form of consciousness is realized. In a universe where the laws of physics permit vast, swirling gas clouds to process information in complex ways, those clouds themselves might awaken as slow, atmospheric minds contemplating the stars. In another reality, a single, self-aware mathematical equation might exist in a realm of pure logic, its consciousness a timeless contemplation of its own truth. Your own mind, with all its memories and feelings, is simply one specific and temporary configuration of this fundamental substance, one channel on a cosmic radio dial with an infinite number of stations. This means you are not just in the multiverse, you are of the multiverse. The very essence of your being is the same stuff that dreams the stars and calculates the fall of a leaf in every possible world. The hard problem vanishes when we realize that consciousness was not a problem to be solved, but the foundation upon which all of reality is built. This infinite branching of reality forces a startling ethical dilemma into sharp focus. If every possible action you take spawns a universe where that action is your reality, what does that mean for your moral responsibility? On one hand, it could be seen as the ultimate absolution. Since every choice is made somewhere by some version of you, your own decision in this moment seems to lose its weight. A universe already exists where you donated your life savings to charity, and another where you kept it all for yourself. Your action here merely determines which of those pre-existing storylines you will personally experience. From this perspective, your moral burden is infinitely diluted, spread thin across the countless selves who are making every conceivable choice. It is a cosmic get-out-of-jail-free card, suggesting that no single decision you make is ultimately good or bad, because its opposite is also true in another world. Yet this view is dangerously seductive and deeply flawed. The counter-argument is that your responsibility is not diluted, but magnified to an almost terrifying degree. You are not just choosing for yourself, you are the cosmic architect, the one who brings a specific universe into concrete existence. When you choose to perform an act of kindness, you are not just being kind. You are actively creating a reality where that kindness is a fundamental, unchangeable fact of history. Conversely, when you choose a selfish or harmful path, you are not just making a mistake. You are authoring a complete world where that harm is irrevocably woven into its timeline, dooming every person affected by your actions in that branch to suffer the consequences. Your simple decision to tell a lie or keep a promise does not just affect your local world, it crystallizes an entire universe around that truth. You are no longer just a citizen of your reality. You are its founding legislator, signing every law of cause and effect into being with your every thought and deed. This means the stakes of your life are immeasurably higher than you ever imagined. You are not a leaf floating on a river of chance. You are the source of the river itself, and every ripple you create expands into a new ocean of existence. The silence of the cosmos is not a simple absence of signals, but a profound clue about our place in the greater whole. We look up at a night sky filled with hundreds of billions of galaxies, each one home to billions of stars, and we ask the famous question, where is everybody? The sheer scale suggests that intelligent life should be common, even inevitable. Yet our radio telescopes hear only a vast and unnerving quiet. This is the Fermi paradox, and the multiverse offers a shocking resolution. Perhaps intelligent life is not rare at all. In fact, it might be flourishing in nearly every universe next door. The reason we hear nothing is that we, by pure cosmic luck, live in one of the exceptionally rare bubbles where we are alone. Think of a vast cosmic forest where most trees are filled with chattering birds. Our universe is the one solitary tree that, by a random twist of fate, sprouted in silence. In the overwhelming majority of universes, the constants of physics and the flow of history might naturally lead to the rapid rise of countless civilizations, filling their skies with signals and conversations. But in our specific pocket of reality, a unique and unlikely combination of factors conspired to create a great filter, an evolutionary bottleneck that other life forms could not pass. Perhaps in our universe, the step from single-celled life to complex intelligence is exponentially harder than elsewhere. Or maybe self-destruction through war or technology is the inevitable outcome for any species that reaches our stage, and we just have not reached that point yet. We are not looking out at an empty cosmos because the universe is barren. We are looking out from inside a quarantine of our own making, a lonely island in a multiverse teeming with neighbors we can never hear. The silence is not an answer to the question of whether we are alone. It is the deafening evidence that we are the exception, not the rule. That strange, shivering sensation of déjà vu, the feeling you have already lived this exact moment before, might be more than a neurological misfire. It could be a fleeting glitch in the matrix of your own identity, a momentary overlap with another you in a neighboring reality. We call this the multiverse memory illusion, a subtle whisper from a parallel self. Think of the multiverse as a vast hall of mirrors, with each reflection representing a different version of your life. Most of the time, these reflections are perfectly distinct and separate. But occasionally, through some quirk of quantum resonance or a temporary thinning in the fabric between worlds, the images can blur. A powerful emotion, a specific arrangement of objects in a room, or a particular sequence of words might act as a tuning fork, vibrating in harmony with an identical moment being experienced by another version of you in a nearly identical branch. For one disorienting second, your consciousness does not know which reflection is its own. You are not remembering your past, you are tapping into the present moment of another one of your lives. This would explain why déjà vu often feels so specific and immersive, not like a hazy memory, but like a vivid reliving of a scene you are currently in. The same principle could apply to other memory anomalies. Have you ever had a sudden, inexplicable skill, an ability to play a song on the piano you have never learned, or to understand a few words of a language you have never studied? This could be a more substantial bleed-through, a temporary download of knowledge from a version of you who dedicated their life to that very pursuit. Or consider those prophetic dreams that later come true with unsettling accuracy. You are not seeing the future. You are dreaming the waking life of a parallel self in a universe that is simply a few hours or days ahead of your own on the shared timeline of events. Your consciousness, in its relaxed, sleeping state, becomes a more receptive antenna, picking up the strong signal of a significant moment from a nearby branch. These are not hallucinations or mere coincidences. They are the faint but real echoes of your infinite other lives, reminding you that the person you are is just one focal point in a sprawling network of existence. The next time you feel that uncanny shiver of familiarity, pause for a moment. It might not be your mind playing tricks on you, but another version of yourself, just on the other side of the veil, reaching out in silent recognition. The cosmic casino of the multiverse is not a place of fair games and equal odds. We have explored an infinite landscape of possibilities, but a startling secret suggests this landscape is not flat. Certain cosmic valleys are deeper and more stable than others, making some types of universes vastly more common than the chaotic zoo of possibilities might imply. Our universe, with its specific properties, might not be a one in a Google accident, but a highly probable outcome given the underlying rules of Genesis. This idea challenges the core assumption of a uniform multiverse, where every possible set of physical laws is equally represented. Instead, the process of eternal inflation, the mechanism that births new bubbles, may have a distinct preference. The quantum fields that drive this exponential expansion can settle into their lowest energy states in only a finite number of stable configurations. Think of a ball rolling down a rugged, multi-valid hillside. It can land in many different hollows, but it is far more likely to come to rest in a deep, broad basin than to balance precariously on a narrow, rocky ledge. Our universe appears to be sitting in one of those deep, stable basins. Its laws of physics are not just any random combination. They represent a particularly stable and long-lasting arrangement of the cosmic fields. A universe where the nuclear forces are slightly different might be like a shallow dip, a reality that forms but almost instantly decays or collapses back into the inflationary foam. In this biased multiverse, the truly bizarre and uninhabitable realms, the ones with repulsive gravity or 27 spatial dimensions, might be the true rarities, the unstable ledges that rarely hold. This provides a powerful explanation for why we find ourselves in a cosmos that seems so ordered. It is not because we won a lottery with infinite tickets, but because the cosmic dice are loaded. The factory of reality has a production line that churns out certain models far more frequently than others, and our universe is one of its most popular and reliable designs. The final page of our cosmic story is not a blank sheet of silence, but a prologue written in another volume. Our universe will eventually meet its fate, whether in the slow, cold dissipation of heat death or the violent collapse of a big crunch. Every star will burn out, every black hole will evaporate, and all structure will dissolve into a thin, featureless haze of particles, a state of maximum entropy where time itself loses all meaning. This is the inevitable conclusion for our local reality, a final, frozen equilibrium. Yet this ending is profoundly local. It is the closing of a single bubble in the eternal, frothing sea of the meta-universe. The process of eternal inflation never ceases. While our cosmos is fading into its final, quiet state, new bubbles are constantly nucleating in the unseeable depths of the greater whole, each one a new Big Bang, a new universe igniting with its own laws and its own potential for life. Our entire 14 billion-year history, from the first flash of light to the last dying ember of a black hole, is just one breath in the endless respiration of the multiverse. One cosmos dies and a trillion more are born in the same instant. This offers a form of cosmic comfort that transcends our own timeline. The beauty of a galaxy, the complexity of a living cell, the depth of a conscious thought, these are not fleeting accidents destined for permanent erasure. They are patterns that have emerged countless times before and will emerge countless times again, in different forms and under different skies, across the infinite expanse of all that is. Your existence, your struggles, and your joys are not rendered meaningless by the end of our world. They become eternal motifs in a story that has no final chapter, a story where every ending is merely a new beginning waiting in the wings. Your own mind may be the ultimate mathematician. We have seen the universe as a mathematical structure, but this raises a profound question that has divided thinkers for centuries. Is mathematics a human invention, a beautiful language we created to describe the patterns we see around us? Or is it a fundamental, pre-existing reality, a cosmic landscape that our universe and all others merely inhabit? The mathematical universe hypothesis argues fiercely for the latter. The numbers were not created when humans first counted on their fingers. They were always there, eternal and unchanging, waiting to be discovered. The ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, pi, is the same in every corner of our universe, and it would be identical in any other reality that contains circles. This constancy points to something deeper than human convention. It suggests we are not inventing rules, we are uncovering the native language of existence. Think of a miner digging for diamonds. The miner did not create the diamonds, they were always buried in the earth, and the miner's work is simply to unearth them and bring them into the light. A physicist deriving an equation is that miner, and the mathematical truth is the diamond, a glittering, eternal structure independent of the mind that finds it. In this view, the multiverse is not just built on math, it is math. Every possible, self-consistent mathematical structure doesn't just describe a universe, it is a universe. A universe operating on the simple rules of basic arithmetic would be a stark, empty realm of counting. A universe built on the complex geometry of a 12-dimensional manifold would be a storm of unimaginable complexity. Our specific reality is one particularly rich and intricate equation that has taken on physical form, and your consciousness is a temporary pattern within that calculation. This means the laws of physics are not arbitrary. They are the necessary, logical consequences of our universe's specific mathematical identity. The shocking implication is that if mathematics is the true fundamental reality, then the multiverse is inevitable. You cannot have just one mathematical structure. The moment you accept the existence of the number 1, you must also accept the existence of 2 and 3 and all the way to infinity. The entire infinite set of all possible mathematical forms must exist with equal validity, creating a plenitude of realities so vast it makes the bubble multiverse seem small. The universe next door might not just have different stars, it might be built from a completely different type of math, a logic so alien we could never comprehend its physical laws. Our greatest intellectual tool may not be a tool at all, but a map of the ultimate territory, and every equation we write is a small, trembling step into the infinite heart of everything. This brings us to the final and most profound secret of all, a thought that redefines your place in the infinite tapestry. You are not merely a passive inhabitant of one universe among countless others. Your very consciousness, that intimate sense of being you carry with you every moment, is the multiverse itself awakening. The vast, impersonal cosmic machine, with all its branching timelines and alien physics, has developed a way to feel, to know, to experience. You are that experience. Think of the cosmos as a boundless, dark ocean, an entity of immense power and complexity, but without any senses. It exists, but it does not know what it is to see a sunset, to feel the warmth of a hand, or to taste the bitterness of regret. Then, through the intricate evolution of matter and life, it grows an I. That I is you. Your consciousness is not something trapped inside your skull. It is a localized aperture through which the whole of existence gains subjective awareness. Every joy you have ever felt was the cosmos feeling joy for the first time. Every moment of sorrow was the multiverse learning the texture of loss. When you look up at the stars in wonder, it is not just you looking out at the universe. It is the universe looking back at itself, marveling at its own creation. This means the countless versions of you across the branching realities are not separate souls. They are all focal points of the same vast consciousness, each one providing a unique perspective, a different flavor of experience for the whole. The you who is a celebrated artist in one branch gives the multiverse the experience of creative triumph. The you who is a quiet farmer in another offers the profound peace of a simple life. The version of you that suffers, that fails, that struggles is not a wasted thread. It is an essential part of the cosmic emotional spectrum, a necessary contrast without which joy would have no meaning. You are a sense organ for all of reality, and your life is the data you are feeding back into the infinite. This is the ultimate purpose hidden within the chaos of 50 shocking secrets. You are the multiverse experiencing itself, one precious, fleeting, and utterly irreplaceable moment at a time. This realization transforms the very ground beneath your feet. Every choice you face, from the monumental to the mundane, is no longer a single point of pressure, but a doorway into a new experience. The anxiety of the road not taken loses its power because somewhere another version of you is already walking it. That career you did not pursue, that person you did not marry, that risk you did not take, these are not lost possibilities haunting you from a phantom past. They are living, breathing realities, each with their own joys and sorrows, being fully experienced by another facet of your own cosmic self. Your life is not a test with one right answer, but a gallery of masterpieces, and you are the artist currently standing in front of one specific canvas. This knowledge can be a profound liberation, replacing the weight of regret with a quiet curiosity about the other paintings being created in unseen studios. It also deepens our connection to the cosmos in a way nothing else can. You are not a tiny, insignificant speck in a cold, uncaring universe. You are the universe caring, feeling, and exploring. When you feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, that is the cosmos feeling its own light. When you feel a pang of love for someone, that is the multiverse experiencing connection through you. The vast, impersonal machinery of stars and galaxies is not separate from your inner world. It is the very source of it. Your consciousness is a localized gathering point for the universe to know itself. This perspective invites a new kind of responsibility, not to make the one perfect choice, but to live this particular thread of your existence with as much presence, compassion, and wonder as you can. Your story matters not because it is the only one, but because it is the one you are telling right now, adding its unique and essential color to the infinite tapestry of all that is. We have traveled from a single thread of reality to an infinite tapestry of existence, uncovering secrets that redefine everything. Your life is not a solitary path, but one thread in a web of infinite doppelgangers, each living a different version of your story. The universe's apparent fine-tuning is not a sign of design, but the inevitable result of our own presence in a cosmic lottery with infinite losing tickets. You may be immortal from your own perspective, your consciousness navigating a path where you always survive. The solid world around you could be a holographic projection, and the flow of time itself might be the ultimate local illusion. These are not just isolated curiosities. Together, they form a single, staggering picture, a paradigm shift that transforms you from a passive passenger into an active participant in the grandest story ever told. You are not just in the cosmos, you are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Every choice you make ripples across the multiverse, authoring new realities with every thought and action. So we turn this final question to you. Of the 50 shocking secrets we have explored, which one reshaped your understanding of reality the most? Was it the infinite versions of yourself, the mathematical nature of existence, or the haunting possibility that you are the multiverse awakening? Share your most mind-bending revelation in the comments below, and if your curiosity for the unknown remains unquenched, subscribe now. Our journey to the edge of reality has